Welcome to Honest Whispers Preview for Sale. On this video, I'll be previewing Yumi Sayaka 1/6 scale PVC figure, normal color version. Released by Yamato in June 2006. This is from their extra story image figure product line. She is approximately 10.5 inches tall and comes with the base. I'm going to go over 6 different categories to preview this. First category is design, covers the overall look and the pose, and I am doing a preview rather than a full review because I have this listed for sale as an unopened box. And as you can see straight off the bat, her pose is very cute, playful, and sexy. I like how she's looking to her right with a nice big smile and her gun up in the air. Actually kind of reminds me of Cameron Diaz's pose for the poster of There's Something About Mary. Only difference is that she has her right arm on her right knee or thigh and her legs are close together rather than split apart like this, and she's looking straight forward rather than looking to her right. And the pose is great, but for me there is one slight problem to the overall look, and that's her hair. I just feel like her hair is a bit unproportionally big for its overall size. I think the main issue here for me is that her bangs are very thick, and when I go back to the original anime look, it looks more thinner. And even though there is a slight gap between her head and her hair, and even this figure does have some gap between her hair and her forehead, which I'll show you in a better angle. And as you can see from underneath, especially now with better lighting, you can see that there's a gap between the forehead and the hair, but you can also see how thick her bangs are. And I think if her bangs were maybe 1/3 of the size, would have been perfect. Maybe even half the thickness would have made a huge difference, and that way it wouldn't look like she's wearing a helmet. So it's not a huge problem, and it could be based on preference, because some people might not have an issue or might actually like the way it looks like this. I mean, for me, I don't have really a big issue either. It's just that for me, it's more about the accuracy of how the anime character looks and how much the 3D version reflects the original look. So that's why I give the design score a near perfect 9 out of 10. Next category is sculpting, covers the details, quality of the sculpt, quality of the mold, and starting from the top, very nice details on the hair. The strands are nicely sculpted, very consistent. And even the goggles on her head, if you look at the nice little details, and it's really well done. So very consistent on the lines, even right here on the side, what looks like stitching almost. Very consistent. Her face, nicely proportioned. I like how her mouth is open, some teeth on the top. Body, everything is perfectly proportioned. Her breasts look amazing, and I guess that's probably one of the biggest features here, especially with the zipper open like that, and even the nipple sculpted out. In fact, the special color version, they have the nipples painted to make the costume look like a bit transparent compared to the normal color version. So very nice details to that. But when I start looking at things more closely, especially like the zipper It's so well done. I mean, the lines are very nice, straight, consistent. And even these wrinkles on her costume, I mean, it just has that natural look to it. So you can see how it looks like her upper part of the costume is stretching. Really like that look. And of course, more details here, like the zipper on her gloves. Her fingers are all overall nicely proportioned and very consistent. And for this glove, let me see if I can get you that better angle so that you can see from the better lighting the nice details of that zipper. And then of course the fingers right here, I mean, it's overall nicely proportioned. It's just that the pinky looks slightly off, like almost a little bit shorter than it should. And the main reason for that is where the pinky is bent. So it looks like one of the joints is right there in that middle area. It is a bit hard to see. Let me change the angle again. And you can kind of see where that pinky is bent. It's not a huge issue, and I wouldn't be deducting any points for that, but just something I wanted to point out. Now, the little nice wrinkles on the gloves just makes it all look natural. Her waistband, the way it has that natural flows, nice consistent wrinkles. I mean, everything is really nice. I don't see any weird bumps or anything like that. Even seam lines. Nice wrinkles here at the back of her knees. Boots are overall nice, smooth, consistent. And I guess the only issue maybe would be right here, the seam line. You could see that her right arm was made separately and then attached. But as part of the costume right here, you could see that they did sculpt out the seam line right there for her arms. So it kind of blends in, and I mean, the gap overall is pretty good. I mean, or rather, there is no gap, and everything just kind of fits pretty nicely. So hardly any flaws, if at all. That's why I give the sculpting score a perfect 10 out of 10. Next category is colors. Covers the accuracy of the colors, quality of the paint, quality of the paint application. And again, just like sculpting, I don't see any flaws at all. I mean, I looked really closely for even like the smallest little thing, like maybe some paint bleeding, curvy, inconsistent lines, but everything is very consistent. No bleeding at all. If there is, it's too small to even notice. I mean, everything from the edge of the boots, her scarf, or rather her waistband. And they did add some like shading effect to it, like a nice airbrushing effect, so you could see the pink getting a little darker in certain areas. There is some airbrush or shading effect for the hair, like the bangs. So you could see how the bottom part of her bangs or hair is a bit darker. And even on her gloves, you can see some shading effect to it, which kind of adds to the overall look of her gloves. Kind of makes it look like real leather. So looks very nice overall. Again, the base kind of reminds me of as part of Aphrodite S. Sorry, the reflection of my fingers kind of get in the way, but you can see here even her name is imprinted on the base too. So very nice look overall. I guess the sample picture you could see the base more clear. Again, just it's a simple design, but I love how they added that little line with the little embellishment, kind of, with the nice rivets in the corner. Again, simple but very cool looking. Running over it one more time, just don't see any flaws at all. I'll show you some close-up of like the waistband. I mean, it looks like there's like, you know, it's bleeding here, but when you look at the waistband more closely, it just looks like it's part of that design to kind of give you that natural look of the fabric. So wouldn't put any deduction of the score on that. It might be simple, but still, it's just really nicely executed. Even her smile, her lips, consistent lines, placement of her eyebrows and her eyes, nice, consistent. And of course, the overall colors are accurate, just like you would see in the anime. So that's why I give the color score a perfect 10 out of 10. Next category is packaging. Covers the design, overall look, and functionality. And as you can see, it is a nice 4-color window box. I like the overall design. The special color version has the same box design. Only difference would be like right here, probably in the back of the UPC, where it actually says normal color version, and for the special color version, obviously would say special color version. But overall, every look, layout is the same. I like how you have the window box slightly on the top as well, so the window is folded with a nice symbol, or rather than symbol, the actual product line, extra story image figure. And I don't read kanji, but that says Sayaka, so obviously that would mean that says Yumi. So, which also says here in the front. Side of the box, as you might have seen, has the silhouette of the figure. And here's the silhouette, slightly different angle. And of course the back, the prototype of both the normal and the special version. But you can see just how they have it displayed in different angles does add that ability to you know, display in multiple angles, either to the side or straight forward. But back to the packaging, you can see here everything nicely fitted inside. No issues about this, you know, shaking or rattling inside its package. Keeps it nice and safe and protected. So functionality wise, looks great. But I do want to add here, you can see on the inside, there's like a background like pattern or design, rather than just being completely blank. So that's an added feature for it, as a nice little feature that's added to the design. And finally, for the bottom, is a folded bottom, so you can only open from the top. No information or anything like that. But the cardboard is pretty thick, so it does keep it pretty sturdy or safe, and the box doesn't dent it easily, so that's a very nice feature. So the only thing I would have changed or added would be maybe a nice glossy finish to the overall box. And the reasoning for that is because I mean, this isn't like completely matte finish or anything like that, but it's just that the if it had more of a gloss finish, it would have protected the overall paint. So you could see a lot of scuffing. It's minor, but you know, when a box can get scuffed like this and you see some paint where the colors kind of rubbed off, compared to one that has a nice glossy finish, which wouldn't have the scuffing or as much scuffing as this. Not that this box has a lot of scuffing, because I did take good care of it and kept it stored in a nice safe place, but still it's almost you know, unpreventable. I mean, it's hard to avoid getting these scuff marks unless you have it wrapped up in some kind of plastic bag or bubble wrap. And that's why I give the packaging score a 9 out of 10 rather than a perfect 10. Next category is value. Covers the original suggested retail price versus the aftermarket price, and of course the price versus the quality. And I bought this not immediately after. I bought this around like 2007, maybe about a year after it was released. And at that time, you know, the price didn't go up or anything like that. I bought it for around $40. And I actually had 2 of these and 1 special color version. And all pretty much averaged, you know, around $40. I did buy these 2 as a set, and then I bought a second one at a convention because the price was still pretty good. Now, right now, I see the average price at around $95. Even though some of them are used. I've seen some that's been open but still in pretty good condition at around $80, and a brand new unopened box like this one listed at $150. I don't think it's gonna sell that high. I have this listed in that average range, so there is some value. Only problem is not too much demand. And that's because Yumi Sayaka is not really well known. I mean, she's definitely an icon as far as part of the history of anime characters. But again, Yumi Sayaka just isn't that well known, especially here in the States. And that's why her value isn't as high as it could be. And that's why I give the value score a 7 out of 10. Final category is overall. Accumulates the 5 prior categories: design, sculpting, colors, packaging, and value. And this one, the quality is very nice. This is about 15 years old and still looks like a figure or a statue that could have been released just yesterday. So definitely the quality is up there. Overall look, the sculpting, the details, the colors, everything is top notch. My only issue, if I had any, would be the value. Unfortunately, this should be like at least triple what the original cost was. Even right now at about double the cost. Just really not enough demand to get that sale right away. It'll take a while for me to probably sell this at the price that I want. But still, I like the overall look. If I could definitely keep it, I would. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, financial, economic, and of course the pandemic, I do have to see if I can get something out of this. But again, I really like it a lot. And that's the reason why I bought two of these and 1 special color version. So I give the overall score a near perfect 9 out of 10. So to recap: design 9 out of 10, sculpting 10 out of 10, colors 10 out of 10, packaging 9 out of 10, value 7 out of 10, and overall 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Until next time, continue reading the King James Version Bible and eat your vitamin C's daily.